how it's done.
More often than not. That's unfortunate.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Odd Shop. Opening up the doors, taking a look inside, shopping some bets with our closest friends here. Woo, heck of a weekend, man, I gotta tell you. Anyway, I'm Dave Loughran, joined by Ben Rasa. Speaking of good weekend, just spent some time in Florida, took a little bit of a break here. I know you came in relief yesterday, emergency services. How you feeling?
I feel great. Yeah, look at me. I got a nice tan, as you can see. Was just soaking up the sun. No,
None of that happened.
None of that happened. I went down, I gambled a little bit. Did kind of what I normally do, just wasn't on content for a few days. I feel good. And yes, yesterday I was resting, watching a little Odd Shop with Eitan and Eric. All of a sudden, I saw Eric drop off. I saw Eitan struggling. So I ran up and I jumped in for the last 20 minutes, talked some Odd Shop with Eitan. It was a fun time. You missed it.
What? Yeah,
I was actually talking to you.
What?
I was talking to you. And then you asked me something I never responded because I ran onto the show.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah, that's why.
Oh, yeah. I was resting as well because I thought I was going to die yesterday.
It's going around. Everybody's sick.
God, man. Both ends, just pure brutality. Plus, since when do you get the chills and body aches and a massive headache and insane fatigue with a stomach bug? This was brutal.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you're like the third or fourth person who has told me this exact thing.
I ate something today, right? A couple pieces of toast for the first time I ate since Sunday.
Yeah, but you do that normally. So
no, that's intentional stuff.
Oh,
that's
intentional.
Challenging myself. Not because if you were to eat, you'd get wildly ill.
Okay.
But that's okay. I feel a lot better, man. I'm ready to go.
All right. Well, I'm ready to go too. Listen, it's March Madness time for me. We got a lot going on. Obviously, we got hoops, a lot of bets. You weren't on the show yesterday. I was only half on the show. We got to pick up the pieces because the community parlay was over. So we got a lot of pressure on us to right the ship today.
0 for 3, huh?
Yeah, but I didn't give a pick. Furman was my pick, and they rolled. So
okay.
I'm not taking credit for that mess.
We're going to shop everything on OddsShopper, find the best bets. First week is free. Link's in the description. Link is in chat. Mike can throw it in there now. You want to follow along with us? You want to play some plus EV bets and beat the market with the market, beat the books with the books. That's literally what we're doing here every single day. Come join the ride. Let's make some money. I will say, though, I ventured off the reservation at the end of last show that I was on, Ben, as we threw in some double-double picks. Nailed the Jakob Poeltl plus 210 double-double. Put me in a good – not only did he double-double, I should get rewarded for the 23-13 double-double at big plus money, but that's not how it works.
No, that's not how it works, but that's a nice plus money ticket. Those are fun, those little combo props where you can do, I know, shout out to Eric, who's been nailing the Jokic triple doubles. He was, I think, a board short or an assist short last night. But are you saying that because you want to press your luck, or are you just trying to take a victory lap here?
Going right back to the well and taking a victory lap.
Okay, simultaneously. Well,
yeah. Yeah, the two things are not mutually exclusive. We do one, we do the other. I'll give that later in the show. Okay. You got one. We talked about it.
I do. It's not something I look to a ton, but I'll tease it. I'll say this. It's in your boys' games, in the Sixers game today, which is one of my favorite games. There's a lot of opportunities there.
Well, TNT action on a Tuesday?
Big time game.
I swear this is not homerism that we talk about those games with same game part. Every time you and I have done a show, it's been a Sixers TNT game.
Yeah, last time we did it, we had an insane game with the Heat and the Sixers. Jimmy Butler took over late. So, again, there's a lot to get through. Obviously, some of the big names are out. Books have accounted for that. The market will dictate off the injuries. We're going to be just fine. And there's a lot of, just taking a peek, there's a lot of green on the screen. There's a lot of plus EV spots that we're going to be talking about.
Yeah, we get plenty of nights where there's not a lot of plus EV stuff, not a lot of positive expected ROI. But we have that here today. And that's all that matters because we're going to get into all of it. Also, some interesting spots that I'll get into, some wrinkles, a little bit of nuance in a couple of spots that I actually want to talk about as well. But before we do that, happy to have you guys with us as always. Hit that thumbs up if you haven't done so yet. Subscribe to the channel. Maybe you're watching after the fact. Leave a comment down below. We try and, at the very least, read all of them respond to most of them. And to everyone in chat, we see you guys here each and every afternoon. All right. So, and if you listen, you got bets you're questioning here, assuming that you haven't taken advantage of your 7-day free week trial yet, or you just want to get our takes on it, get the takes on it, what OddsShopper says, what the market says about these bets that you have in mind, hit us with them. We'll go over all of them. That's what makes this fun, looking at all of the bets and trying to figure out which ones make the most sense and where they make the most sense, more importantly. The Taylor Horton Tucker one, I mean, that just jumps off the page to me today, because you're looking at over 4.5 assists on this guy. And man, look at some of the minus 145 on DraftKings right now. I am curious though, right? Like, you have it at minus 145 there, minus 150 everywhere else. What makes this such a high XO ROI bet? Well, actually, no, this is coming at where? It's not even saying. Is that
so it's off Underdog.
Is that what it's coming from?
Yeah, you see the icon on the right? You see the little sports book? That's the dog icon. That's Underdog.
Oh, mine was just showing nothing at the moment.
Oh, actually. You got to get it with the times. Yeah, and it shows again, and we're going to talk about the NHA and PrizePicks of the world and things like that. Those are the type of props. When you see those minus 145, you just talked about it. Obviously, on a site like that where the juice is baked in and it's much lower, those are the props that are going to be right at the top of the board. I'm looking at mine right now, and Josh Giddey 3-pointers is the top prop currently right now in terms of market-based approach, under a half a 3-pointer, right in your wheelhouse. We're sweating out where the guy's got to make 0 threes.
Plus money too. Plus 160. I don't know. The Mo Wagner one after that has me a little bit shook here. Not gonna lie, because it crushed our parlay.
Yes, it did. But again, that stands out right off the bat. You're not going to cash that over 50% of the time, and you don't need to. The plus money is where you're getting that value. Certainly, it's overinflated. Right on DraftKings too. Plus 160 on DraftKings is where the value is coming from. So although it's scary, although he probably does make a 3 tonight, there's no doubting that one probably belongs on the card.
Yeah, I was going to say, most people, there's a lot of people out there that aren't on a ton of different books, even though you should be if you're trying to shop around and get the best odds. Most people are on DraftKings. So if you're going over there looking at this, is that the first bet you're placing?
I mean, when I pull up OddsShopper Premium, first thing I do, I go to all bets because we'll sneak in some real stuff. But say you filter by NBA, where we are right now, I sort by XROI, and that one stands way above everything else. So yes, that is what I would put first on the card. But again, you got to keep in mind you're talking about a plus 160. So there's more that goes into it, and that's why we have the bet percentages to the right. So you make sure you don't overextend.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like, if you sort by OS bet percentage,
yep.
And this is where I'd like your opinion here or your thoughts. This is still the 4th highest OS bet percentage play of all the props that we have, even though it's plus 160.
Yeah, and again, that's where you're going to be mixing in XROI, which is showing, the return on investment, which over time is going to be higher. But where this bet lacks, of course, is on win percentage. Because it's a plus money ticket, you're not going to win this an astronomical amount of the time. Whereas if you're talking about, I'm looking down, I see like Anthony Davis under 3.5 assists. It grades out as a positive ROI. It's minus 160. You're winning that bet so much more. Obviously, you're just not getting that plus return when you do. So just balancing that out. And I think that's the beauty of this. Even within the tool, you kind of find the ones that work for you. Obviously, we're recommending take the ones that are plus, of course, XRI. But within that, you have so many different types of options.
Jared Vanderbilt's second in expected ROI. That's another plus money bet as well at plus 150, under 1.5 assists. At BetMGM. And then you have Mikal Bridges under 3.5 assists. What are we at? Plus 110. That's a plus money. But at other spots like FanDuel plus 104 points bet, even money, you're getting it at plus 110. Not very often you see better odds on DraftKings than points bet either. But yeah, the best odds here, Mikal Bridges under 3.5 assists at BetMGM. and DraftKings because they have the exact same odds.
Yeah, and again, these are not. This is more me because I'm a sicko. I like betting unders. I know most people like to bet overs, and there are plenty of overs that grade out as just fine ROIs tonight and will be profitable. But the top three right now, currently, and this will change. You've got Giddey, you've got Vanderbilt, you got Bridges, and it makes sense. Certainly, the Lakers. This is more of just like a kind of an observation. I feel like the Lakers in general have been very lucrative when you talk about Vanderbilt, when you talk about Anthony Davis. These guys appear on this tool all the time.
Because there's so much uncertainty.
Yeah, exactly.
LeBron goes down, D'Angelo Russell goes down. Now that's the thing. Like, obviously, you're paying attention to some of this news today. D'Angelo Russell's questionable. He's missed 5 games in a row. There are some, like with sports betting, you don't need to pay insanely close attention because unless you're trying to take advantage immediately as something happens, right? Like you're trying to pounce on a line or on a prop while it's still on the board. You know this as well as I do though. Like nowadays, a lot of these books just pull them immediately. Some of them still lag. That's why this tool's so useful, because you're going to find the ones that are still lagging quicker than you would if you're doing it on your own. But yeah, dude, Giannis is out. Lots of John Morant, another one. We can talk about some of these Memphis bets. John Morant, you get Taylor Jenkins saying, like, yeah, we'll see. There's no definitive timeline on when he comes back, waving guns on Instagram, that he's like getting help and in a healing process right now, whatever the hell that means.
He might get 50 games.
You think?
I mean, this is not what we're here to discuss, but from what I've read, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. What I've read is that if he brought a gun on the team plane, that's automatically 50 games.
Wait, okay.
Well, how the hell did he get a gun in Denver?
I'm sure a buddy let him flash it.
Okay, that's different. That would be probably a better situation than if he brought it on the plane. That would be, it seems like a big problem.
What do you think about what he did, the Instagram video? You like it?
I mean, when I am in the club late at night, I don't normally flash firearms on my Instagram live, but what can I say? That's more your speed.
Our own Josh Engelman had no issues at all.
Of course. Now I know that now he's even in probably more trouble. Now I'm more concerned for Ja.
He's I do wonder though too, like if you just to get away from OddsShopper for a second and speak, because look, if you can still get closing line value on certain things, that's where you're going to make money. Like yeah. I try and tell people, so like when they go, because you and I have done this so many times on our shows and everything, where like you get great closing line value and the bet doesn't win, and people are like, yeah, I told you. And it's like, yeah, but you beat the closing line by a ton, right? That's all you can actually do. Like betting NBA games early is great if you're good at actually understanding all of that and you get the movement. I do wonder, like with the Sixers on the second of a back-to-back here, do we see James Harden sit and Joel Embiid play and hitting overs on those right now? Or are the books already hedging for something like that?
So that's something that I think is a little more intricate, but something I think we should talk about. When you use this tool, certainly there are bets right off the bat. They show up in green. And they're saying right now, if you bet this based on the market, it's plus EV. There's no doubt about it. But there are times, particularly with sides, that I'll go in and I'll see a bet that's close to zero. Maybe it's negative 1% ROI. Maybe it's zero, maybe, around there. And I say, okay, if I bet it right now, I'm probably legitimately bleeding a small amount if I ran it a million times. But there's a piece of news that if it breaks my way is going to take this bet into the stratosphere. So right. I'm almost saying it's worth the small risk that I might book what I would view as a long-term minus expected value bet, with the caveat that there's a X% chance that a big name player doesn't play, and that super benefits my side. So that's kind of what I'm getting at. You see what I'm saying there?
No, it's a great way to look. I do the same thing. If you're looking at something, you're going, all right, it's a neutral bet, maybe slightly negative EV, but still one that, like you said, over time bleeds you slowly.
Yeah.
Then you're willing to take that risk, because worst case scenario in a spot like that is, all right, let's say Harden, for example, does play. I'm still locked into the Joel Embiid overs, but this is still the line that you were getting on Joel Embiid with the assumption that James Harden was playing anyway.
And again, you're talking about really small edges. Think of a coin. It's 50-50. Say there was a coin that was 48-52. Like, you wouldn't want to flip that on the 48% side, but if you flip the coin once, it's not like you can't win. So, you don't want to make a habit of doing that. But if you say, okay, there is a couple of pieces of news that I'm going to bet on myself, I'm literally going to bet on the news, knowing that if I get the news right, the tool immediately would show up in green based off that. I'm going to try to beat the market that way.
Do you think doing that with truly questionable players is actually long-term plus EV if most of the bets you're placing without knowing the news are already like neutral bets to very, very slightly minus EV? You
So
know what I mean?
that's where it's very, very nuanced. If it's close to zero, even if you get all the news wrong, again, you're going to bleed out so slowly that you could make that up elsewhere. If you're getting the news semi-correct, you're going to take advantage. Now, if the bet isn't even close and if you get the news wrong and you bet a team at +5 and now they're +12, well, that's a massive risk that you took because now your bet is really in bad shape every time you get the news wrong.
Right. I think you also have to have a handle, though, on whether or not the books are already pricing this in.
Oh, again, and that's where is the guy, on a back-to-back, maybe he rests. Is he doubtful? If it's baked in, that's where comparing, again, going to OddsShopper, using the compare tool to see, okay, where did this open? Where is it now? It's little things like that make all the difference.
Yeah, like Joel Embiid right now, points, rebounds, and assists. Let me find the best over on Joel Embiid points, rebounds, and assists. Like the best over on points, it's -3% XROI on BetMGM. I'm assuming even the over on points, rebounds, and assists is even worse because I'm scrolling here. I thought I could scroll, but I probably should have just typed his name in at the top. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, -6% XROI at 48.5, and that's -107 right now.
Yeah, again, I think that's where you need to ask yourself, play it out in your head. Okay, if Harden sits, how big of an impact does it take his points up? 2 points, 6 points, no points, things like that. Some injuries, when you have a superstar sitting, it changes the complexion of the game. Other times you see, the spread moves from I always find that funny. It's like huge news. This guy's out. The spread moves from 4.5 to 4. It's like, wow, earth-shattering news here. Most stuff doesn't really impact, but on the player prop level, it can make all the difference.
Well, and that's the thing too, because Embiid isn't really impacted by anything. It's guys like Tyrese Maxey.
Secondary plays.
What's that?
Yeah, the secondary options to me get a bigger boost.
That's why, and this is what I mean by the books are already protecting themselves against this. Tobias Harris is questionable and Harden's questionable. The only Sixer right now with player props, unlike reputable books, is Joel Embiid because they're just going to leave it there. That might bump a little bit, Ben, if Harden ends up sitting. It's not going to be significant enough to get any real value there on a guy like Embiid. If Maxey props were out there still and you got in on this as that news came out that Harden was questionable, that's probably where you're the most profitable long-term.
Agree. Totally agree. Again, and those are just little things that you can do with this tool. Obviously, the most simplistic way, say you sign up for your 7-day free trial and you come in. If you're just getting your feet wet, what I would do is just sort by XRI and take the best ones. I mean, those are the best bets. There's no doubt about it. And make sure you're pairing it with the book that it recommends. I can't stress that enough. If you take the wrong line, it defeats the entire purpose of what we're doing here. But I look at the board tonight. There's so many different options. And yeah, James, we'll get to that boost as well. FanDuel has a boost out there. The Desmond Bain, Anthony Edwards one that I actually think at first glance could be worth playing.
What are the odds on it?
So it's +280, and they each have to get 25 points.
All right, so let's see. All right, well, actually, okay, so Desmond Bain, let's dig into this then. What do you say?
Yeah, I'll go. Let's do it.
His Desmond Bain's point prop is at 24.5. Okay.
Is it 110 on both sides?
It's the over. Let's see. On FanDuel is -102. See, DraftKings has 24.5 at -120. That's way worse than anywhere else. Everything else basically hovering in the -108 range, but Desmond Bain 24.5 points And then who else did he say? Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
All right. Anthony Edwards points. Because it makes it easier if these are the actual point props, because then we could actually plug it in the odds boost evaluator.
Absolutely. That's always where it's tricky, where if there's nothing to compare it to, and I'm going to go to FanDuel right now just so I can pull up the exact boost and see what's going on. Yeah, that's it. Anthony Edwards and Desmond Bane to score 25 plus points each. It was 220. Don't worry about what it was. They can say anything there. Now it's plus 280. That's the key. Seriously, though. I don't like when books say that. Like, what do you mean it was? If it said it was minus 400, well, that would just make it the worst bet in history. And now they bring it to where it should be. How does that help you?
All right. So right now, I got a dog that's losing her mind. All right.
What's going on out there?
All right. So how about this, right? The real odds on, because Anthony Edwards point prop, I'm just pulling this, I wouldn't say it's arbitrary, but I'll get your thoughts here. Anthony Edwards point prop on FanDuel is 26.5. Okay.
Okay.
Desmond Bane is 24.5. The real odds on that are plus 331. But that would be 27 plus and 25 plus.
Yeah. So that's a little, let's see. I'm going to pull up Edwards. Yeah. It's 26.5 everywhere. So.
Right.
So again, it's probably pretty damn close when you really look at it.
To true odds, though, to real odds.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, listen, these boosts, a lot of them are straight minus expected value. It's not, you can rule them out. This is one that I wouldn't rule out. I wouldn't run to the window to play it either, but I think it's playable just based off where Bane is at, and Edwards is priced over that prop currently.
Yeah, I don't think it's egregious. Yeah.
No, it's not. It's definitely not. 220 is egregious, though.
They're saying it was originally.
Yeah, like I don't. Again, that's a little.
That's insane.
Yeah, no.
they man, you got to be careful with these. That's how they get people, though. Like they pre-make odds boost and be like, look, we're serving this up to you, and then it turns out that it couldn't be further from the truth. All right, looking at a couple more of these, though, I'm just pulling up our best bets right now. And by the way, if you guys are taking advantage of the free 7 days, link down in the description, link in chat. When you go into this, you can do grid view or list view. Personally, to find the best bets, I like to do the list view. It's just simple and clean. But what I like the grid view better for being able to click on the actual prop and see what it is compared to the other bets. Like, I want to be able to see, Ben, oh, wait, I'm getting this at plus 160 on DraftKings and everywhere else it's plus 125. I want to be able to see what type of value across the other books we're getting.
Oh, that's huge. And I'll give people just a little peek behind the glass. That's something we're going to actually integrate into list view selfishly, because I've been begging them to do it because I like to see that too. And I like list view, but both of them are really, really important because I like to see where the other books are at because it shows you why it's valuable. If you see that your line is minus 120 and every other book is minus 135, you immediately see like, okay, this makes sense. I am taking a bet that is different than all the other books at a better price. That's probably a good thing. And normally it is.
Yeah. And you can, the settings too, like you sort, I like to sort by best projected ROI. But yeah, you could get all the matchups individually, teams, every sports book, just one sports book, odds, minimum odds, max odds, all that stuff. So just so you know, take it. If you're using it, I want you guys to actually have, be able to use it and know what you're looking at, right? Just with the tools, the parlay builder, we'll get to that in a little bit too, but all that stuff goes a long way. The Giddey, Vanderbilt, and Bridges ones all stand out. There's also another one here, Jaren Jackson 3-pointers. I'll be honest. Like the tool says this is a good bet. And for that reason, because it's priced far better than all of these other books, it makes it a good bet. If there's 7 different books at minus 115 and one lone book at minus 105, that immediately makes this a better bet. Long-term, you win like this. But Jaren Jackson over 1.5, 3 scares the shit out of me, dude.
It doesn't feel good, but man, I'm just going to read them off. DraftKings has it at -105. Bet Rivers -115. BetMGM -105. PointsBet -115. Caesars -117. FanDuel -115. No House Advantage -119. Like, come on now. Having said that, yeah, it feels real shitty. There's nothing worse than when you're like, up, here we go again. But that's why you kind of just have to let the tool do the work for you, because this guy, then again, if he doesn't foul out in the first 7 minutes, we have a real shot. Because when he stays on the court, he's quite effective.
He is, and there's no jaw. You know, the front court's beat up. Like I think a lot of people would look at this and go, man, why does DraftKings have this at 1.5? Why is it 1.5 across the board? But again, like that's the point you have to drill home. If every book that pay people millions of dollars to set and price these type of lines all have them at 1.5 on the over with the over juiced, like maybe there's something I don't know. You know, like I've had to train myself to think that way too. Like maybe I'm just wrong. You know, that every other book has it priced like this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the type I mean, I'm a clown, so it makes it easier. But I just normally think if I'm in somewhere, I got a bunch of people in an area that know what they're talking about. If they all say the same thing, I tend to agree with them just by saying, okay, they've all independently came to the same conclusion. And this is what I'm doing here. If you're going to tell me that 8 books say this should be around -115 and one book says it should be right around -105, I would tend to say that the -105 is the price that's incorrect.
That is actually, there were studies done on that where like you could have somebody in a room with a bunch of other people and a person conducting the study asks everybody a question, right? And all of the people go around the room before the actual person that's being, before the actual, what are they called? The subject, right?
Okay.
They don't know they're in a study. They think they're just in some type of like think tank or whatever. And all of the other people go around the room and they answer the question. They intentionally answer the question wrong. And it's pretty obvious, right? The person conducting the study goes to the subject. They ask them the answer to the question. They know the right answer, but they still answer the question wrong because you don't want to look like the asshole, right? It's a little bit different in the case of sports books, though, because these sports books have incentive to not be wrong every single day.
Yeah, they literally pay for it when they are. So that's true. Yeah, if they don't know what they're talking about, that's what that is actually at the core of what we're doing. But generally, when you've got unlimited budgets, they know what they're talking about. They've got teams and teams and teams of algorithms to set these lines. And that is why when something is off, got to jump on it as fast as possible.
Yo, Jaren Jackson too, or Mitchell Robinson. Oof.
What? Where is it?
It's just another one that'll spook you a little bit, but you got under 11.5 rebounds on BetMGM at even money in a spot like this. It's tough because, you know, you're going to look at this and you're going to say, yeah, it's a great matchup against the Charlotte Hornets. Mitchell Robinson's been playing considerable minutes lately. You know, what's not to like about this, but popping up as a 4% XROI bet today.
Yeah, that feels uncomfortable. You know, we've talked about a bunch of them that kind of feel not great. I'll give you a completely different type of bet that's still on here. And if, you know, a lot of people, they like to build, you know, in our Discord, some parlays and things like that. The Knicks first quarter money line, which is juiced to all hell at -210, that's still showing up as a positive ROI. So as a parlay piece, if you can find -210 on them, clearly they should roll over Charlotte. But right off the jump, -210 is showing up as a 2% positive ROI. And it's because all the other books are even more juiced than that.
Maybe we put that in the community parlay later in the show.
I might use that. I don't know. I might go college basketball. We'll see what you do.
Okay. Well, I would say this much, right? We took a look at some of these, and if you guys have questions, hit us up. More than willing to, like, if you have questions on, hey, what do you think about this prop? What do you think about this? Throw it in chat. We'll take a look. Like I said, the first week's free for you anyway. You can do it on your own on top of that. If you haven't done so yet, link down there. And by the way, all the links to all these books, if you're like, shit, dude, BetMGM's got an amazing line here, or Caesars or whatever's available to you. All the links are in the description. Take advantage of the massive bonuses they do for first-time signups, because they don't give them to you after that. I can assure you that much.
Yeah.
All right. So any other spots before we move on that you want to look at here or discuss?
No, I mentioned already that Anthony Davis is on here a couple times with his unders, under on assists, under on 3-pointers, and I'm not surprised about that. So if you're looking even in the same game parlay realm, the Lakers are a team that I think you can attack pretty profitably tonight. But you want to talk? Where do you want to go next? Because we got PrizePick and NHA. There's so much we can do here.
I wanna mention one thing from chat first.
Okay.
I want to talk about Tyus Jones. Sway said, I love Tyus Jones in general. Hammered Tyus PRA at 26.5 again. Yeah, look, honestly, I don't hate that. We have it at -1 XROI, which is, as Ben mentioned earlier, like pretty much a neutral bet there. The books know that Ja Morant is out,
Of course.
They know this. So when all of them have it at 26, 27 and all of that, yeah. But DraftKings does have it at 26.5. It's at 27.5 in a lot of other spots. Like PointsBet 27. How about this? FanDuel. So if you're betting this, bet it on DraftKings. FanDuel has Tyus Jones 27.5 PRA at -115. DraftKings has 26.5 at -115. Same line or same odds, different line.
Yeah, and that stuff adds up quickly. So that's one, again, when you're talking about very small margins like that, all it takes is a minor adjustment from a couple books to change that, a couple percent in your favor. So Tyus Jones is a guy that I think he's going to appear on a lot of people's cards tonight. I get it. Even within that, you definitely want to maximize, like you mentioned, you're stealing a point and you're not paying extra for it.
Even if you're saying like, look, I really like this bet, I'm doing it anyway. I'm just betting this regardless of what the tools say. Get the best price on it. And I've had how many times have you had a PRA where they come one shy of it? Like, you're not even paying more. You're not even paying the juice on something like this. You're literally getting it at 26.5 -115. Yeah. So yeah, not bad. Calvin asked, can you hit on Tyus Jones points? Yeah, why not? Over 15.5 Bet Rivers. I'm in PA. That's the best line on that. Honestly, dude, and Sway mentioned this, I would rather go with the PRA on a spot like this. You're getting better odds on it at DraftKings, number one. And I think I've told you this many times. Oftentimes with players like Tyus Jones, I prefer to lean in that direction just because you can have that spike performance in one category and not the other and still get there.
Yeah, I mean, Tyus Jones over 15.5 right now is not grading out as a good ROI at all. And it's because, again, we're taking a market-based approach here. The books are in agreement with what it should be, saying, okay, we're all very confident where it should be. And if that's the case, there's no way to overcome the rake that you're paying on the bet. So no matter what side you bet, long-term, you wouldn't be profitable. So that's where it's difficult. I agree. Point, rebounds, assists, probably where I would go, if anywhere.
Yeah. Tyus Jones, double. Sway, if you're loving Tyus Jones today, double plus 250, baby.
Here we go.
You got that.
Was that the one you have been waiting for?
No. I just figured I'd throw it out there. Guy's going to play a lot of minutes, a lot of opportunities as a playmaker. They don't have like real legitimate playmakers on that team that are going to handle the ball as much as Tyus Jones does. I mean, I think it's priced right at two. I don't think it's like that's a great bet, but it's there. Also, that massive game that he had in Ja Morant's absence in the last one is really going to lead people to love. Is going to lead him to people to love Tyus Jones here. He's a quality player without Ja Morant, but don't get out of control on something like this. It's still Tyus Jones.
And the books know. That's just the key with that stuff. Like, the books have already factored in and they've taken a lot of the value.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate.
Like, Tyus Jones points plus assists is 23.5 -130 on DraftKings. you're talking there, what, 14 points and 10 assists? Yeah, like that sounds about right for Ja Morant not being in the starting lineup.
Yeah, but you have to beat minus 130.
Right. No, I'm not saying I'm saying like
Oh
they're
yeah, I'm agreeing with
obviously
you.
pricing all of this in. Yeah, for sure. Let's build a parlay. Where do you want to do it though? You want to do Taco Tuesday, a little prize picks action?
We can do a little PrizePicks action. I just want to clarify this one point because it is a little confusing at times. And Calvin's bringing up points about the models are understanding. He takes a more active, involved role as a starter. Just to clarify from what we're doing, these are not models that we have no projections on OddsShopper Premium. This is a market-based approach. So it's the books that are setting these, not us. And what we're saying is all the books collectively, they have factored in Tyus Jones's usage. I believe that. I really do. So
of course they have. How many? He's played many games too. Even if you want to historically look at this, he's played many games without Ja Morant.
Oh yeah, and the crazy thing and where it always gets a little tricky, like I'm with Calvin. Tyus Jones can have a huge night tonight. It wouldn't surprise me at all. It's just trying to make sure that if you're going to take him, you got to see if a book hangs a bad line, because without that, it's in the long term not really profitable.
And you know what though, to Calvin's point, I do want to say one thing. I do think there are opportunities where if you know enough. Now, there's the book, The Logic of Sports Betting, right?
Love that book. Great book.
Very good book. Even he mentions in that, and this guy knows everything about sports betting. He's like, listen, if you really do know the sports, there will be select times where you have found something, right? That like they just haven't accounted for. But those are few and far between opportunities, right? Like in a spot like this with Tyus Jones, I don't look at this as I know more than the books. There might be other times where there's just an insane amount of unknowns. And I don't know, do the books copy other books, Ben, in just without knowledge and say, we're just going to throw this out there because we don't know either?
Oh, absolutely. But then what happens is it's a game of catch up, and that's what we're doing. It's follow the leader. There are market makers and a book that says we're super confident. Other books say, oh shit, they moved their line. I should too.
Yeah.
One book is straggling and we pick him off. We say, oh, that book is too slow. We're going to jump on it right there. And boom, we captured value. Aussie prop guy, Cam Johnson threes over on that is grading out as a positive ROI, just to give you a sneak peek for sure.
Cam Johnson is grading out positive?
Yes, he's been positive. I checked that earlier in the day. Yeah, over 2.5 3-pointers. Over on DraftKings. Got to be on DraftKings at minus 135. That's the line that is stale. 2% ROI. 59% X-win as well, obviously.
Nice. And very stale according to some other books. You're getting like, what, 15 cents on that compared to 3 or 4 other books?
Yeah, that's a good one for sure.
PrizePicks. Got the Taco Tuesday.
Okay.
Right, so you got Taco Tuesday on PrizePicks. I'm curious out of the gate just to see what our parlay builder looks like, because our parlay builder is just, again, going to take a market-based approach and give you the best possible parlay out of the gate. Now, of course, you can make adjustments. For those of you that are already subscribed to OddsShopper or using the trial, you can mess around with it, right? Like you can plug guys in, sub guys out. The Taco Tuesday, though, is Kyrie Irving 21.5 points, Ben. 21.5 points.
Yeah, so obviously we want to put that one in there, but you mentioned our PrizePicks parlay builder right on OddsShopper, and I pulled it up. My man Nathan McKinnon taking you to the ice just for a second. He's the best one we got. Over 4.5 shots on goal against the Sharks tonight at home, Colorado. In a pretty damn good spot. So I know there's a lot of NBA spots, but to me, McKinnon belongs in your PrizePicks parlay today.
Agreed. Hey, Zach. Shout out to Zach, too. I saw that comment on Eitan's video the other day. Hit the plus 1,200, plus 1,300 parlay using the parlay builder.
That'll change. That's a game change. When you get into the 1,200, 1,300, those take the bankroll up quite quickly.
Yeah. Awesome to see that. This one, $100 wager pays out $18.95 on the regular parlay builder. Looking at PrizePicks parlay builder, you got McKinnon on there. All right, Steph Curry over 37.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Now, I've got to be completely frank with you here anyway. The fact that the tools like this and that the parlay builder likes this makes me happy because I already like this at 37.5. All right. Like this is one where I think you can use a little bit of nuance. And I say this only because he returned for one game, man. He played 32 minutes. I wouldn't be surprised for Steph Curry to come out and just play his complete normal minutes if this game somehow stays competitive, like 36 minutes if it stays close.
Yeah, and those are, like I said, those are little things that you can kind of infer. There's no doubt about it. And, you look at the X win on him. This is the beauty of it. If you like that, you say, man, I wanted to target him already. I like the spot against the Thunder. I'm putting him in there. You say, you know what? I don't want to mess around with uncertainty. I think that there's other spots. There's 5, 10 other bets that we're saying are basically the exact same X win percentage. So you have so many pivots if you just want to press remove on that one and slide in, put in Grayson Allen, put in Desmond Bain. There's a million different guys to put in there.
Yep. And I'll say this much for NBA. Like if you are trying to inject some of your own insight into this, the matchups, whatever, pace of play, all that's factored in. The one thing where I do think that if you were looking to get an edge, and it's only going to happen once in a while, but this is when you have uncertain circumstances, minutes, Ben. If you can accurately gauge, like, hey, I think this guy's going to play a lot more minutes than all of these models have him projected for, that's where I do think you can find a difference sometimes.
You can definitely find a difference, but you still have to genuinely, and I'm not saying that it's always the case, but you have to ask yourself, are you more likely to accurately project the guy's minutes than the books? Sure. And sometimes the answer to that is yes.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. I think it's very, very seldom that this happens.
That's why you got to track stuff. At the end of the day, honestly, that's why I say for everyone, and I've had a million people message me. I've been talking to people in Discord as well about, they say, I used the 7-day free trial. I'm in here. What's the first thing I should do? And, we talk about, the sorting and stuff, but honestly, I've told multiple people this. The first thing you should do is track it. See for yourself how it's going. And yes, obviously on a day-to-day basis, you're going to see crazy variance. But when you're doing this stuff, you want to track it because you're going to find trends within your own stuff that says, wow, when I bet 3-point props and I go on my own, I do really well. Or, these times where I've taken a stand on a guy against this, it hasn't worked out. You really want to be cognizant of what you're doing on a long term. And the only way to do that is to track it.
Yep. We got a lot of hockey ones in here. Maybe you can pronounce some of these names for me.
So that was really where I was going to take the show. Who the hell is Borkstrand? Here we go. Oliver Bjorkstrand for the Kraken, of course.
Valerie Nichukin? Nichukin?
So that's another Avalanche guy.
Yeah, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 6 guys that all. I think we should do the 5-pick flex because even with the 6, if you hit 4, you 2x. If you hit 4 on the 5 picks, you still 2x. Oh, I'm sorry, but if you hit 5 on the 6 play, you still 2x. But you 2x on a 4 or 5 too.
Yeah, that's,
you know what I mean.
Yeah. So who do you want to pull? Who do you want to remove?
Let's just take the lowest win percentage guy and take him out.
Okay, so that's fine.
We'll go. Well, actually, we can pull 2 of them because we have the Kyrie, and we're definitely using the Kyrie here. There's no question about that. We're using the Kyrie. Like at every other book, you're getting Kyrie Irving point prop way, way higher than that. That's just why there's a Taco Tuesday on PrizePicks. Right. So
we've got Kyrie, and then we've got multiple guys that we can put in there to pair around him to go for that, 5x or 5 leg, whatever you want to call it.
I want Steph Curry in there. You want McKinnon.
I want McKinnon.
58 win percentage.
That's play. The best one on the board.
So we have Irving, McKinnon, Curry, and then I say we just play this to the highest win percentage. Let's say Borkstrand or Valerie Nichukin.
Oh, my night's going to be busy checking out the Kraken game. That's a first.
I think Grayson Allen points is nice too, though. He's at this number too because you have no Giannis, no Drew Holiday. That's a nice number. Yeah, Zach, it doesn't matter, man. Zach said I'm wimpy. I put minimum deposits on every book in my state, but the tool has me up on all of them. Yeah, that
grind it up.
Even if you're just minimum depositing on them, you're getting their deposit bonuses or whatever promos they have to sign up first. And now you can, like, when you find a good bet on OddsShopper, you can actually exploit it because you go, oh, okay, wait, the best bet is at BetMGM. That's where I'll go to place this bet, minimum deposit or not. That's huge. If there are, by the way, if there are promos out there, I think we put links in all of the, if we put links in all of them down below. PrizePicks too. That's $100 first match deposit bonus as well. So that's a big one. But what's Tyus Jones points on? Man, Calvin's all about this Tyus Jones today.
Like I said, I totally get it. And on PrizePicks, I do too. Of course you're baking in at like -118. So if you can use that and incorporate that right into the tool as well.
Well, that's the great thing on PrizePicks is that there are going to be props that look to be the same as every other book if you're discounting the juice. If you look at the juice on these other books and you go, oh, wait, they're both, say, 25.5 points on DraftKings and PrizePicks, but DraftKings is -135 and there's no juice on PrizePicks, makes a big difference.
Oh, it makes a huge difference. That's something that, again, to me, I don't know about other people. Like, I for a long time got in a bad habit of being like, oh, it's just like, oh, this is -117, this is -125, like whatever. What's it? 8 cents, 10 cents, like. Right.
I like this book better. Yeah.
I'm too lazy to do. It adds up so quickly. It's crazy.
It is. Caleb, what do y'all think of AD rebounds? All right.
Let's go to the videotape.
Pulling it up right now. The search bar makes life easy. I'll tell you that much.
13.5. Ooh, close. Close, but no cigar.
Yeah, 13. Damn, that's a high number.
And the under's still plus money. I mean, as it should be. It is a lofty number, but still.
Yeah. I will say this much. If you're going to bet that, where's the best book for it? Because some people just like props. I'm not going to discourage everyone from taking bets they like. I would just very much encourage you that if you are going to do that, at least find the best place to bet them.
Yes. Obviously, I don't mean this bluntly, but you'll, regardless of if the bet is good or not, you'll lose slower if you're taking the best line. Right. And at DraftKings, that would be the place to bet that, even though I wouldn't recommend betting that, but that would be the place I would bet it at.
Yeah. All right. Did you have a college parlay? I see a lot of CBB talk right now in chat. You got any college action you're throwing out there today?
Are you excited for March Madness?
No.
Okay. Well,
I'll be excited when I tail you on everything.
For about an hour and a half until the games start. Just like, well,
I do NFL. Oh yeah, we had some wild. I've never had any instances when we sweat those college basketball bets together. Like I remember the one they were up by 25.
Yeah,
with 3 minutes.
Murray State against Eastern Illinois.
Like 5 minutes to go. Yeah,
no problem.
Lost outright.
Yeah, you should have seen the shit I was dealing with last night. I had
me betting like
plus
aircraft
4.5
carrier.
Yeah, the game in the aircraft carrier. That was Michigan State and Gonzaga. I had the Winnipeg Jets last night in regulation. They give up a goal with 10 seconds. This is the kind of shit you can't deal with, but that's irregardless.
FanDuel's got a 25% odds boost on all college basketball bets, though.
Well, listen, I dress for success, and you see it right here. You see that? The Northern Kentucky tonight, punching their ticket to the big dance, take on Cleveland State, -1.5, which was on the video this morning. You missed the video, it's at 2.5 now. I still like it. Don't sleep on the Norse. I know, Laffy, that there are other teams that you prefer in life, but I'm going to turn you into a Northern Kentucky fan before the tournament is over.
Yeah, you got an authentic Nike NKU North shirt, huh?
Yeah, so
What's
I
that
bet this.
run you these days?
So a couple years ago, this team was so sick, and they made a great run to the tournament. Then they drew Kentucky. They lost by like 40 points. My parents actually were driving. I don't even know where the hell they were going, and they were by Northern Kentucky. And I told them, and they stopped and they got me a shirt.
Well, it's a nice alternative to the Vikings.
Yeah, it's Cleveland State Vikings against. Is that what you're referring to, or you just mean Vikings in general?
Weren't the Norse basically Vikings too?
Yeah, but they're taking on another team that's nickname is the Vikings tonight.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
Yes,
kind of
Vikings.
cool.
Yeah, Vikings versus the Norse.
That's pretty sweet. Okay.
Yeah.
The loser should have to do the Blood Eagle to their coach.
And what does that entail? Sounds like the kind of shit you asked me to do when, we'll go perfect on no house advantage, or Ben will do
Dude,
the
you don't know what
Blood
the
Eagle.
Blood Eagle is?
No.
Oh, all right. I'll have to show you.
Sounds not good.
It's something that you would probably demonstrate on people that you subject to the island where you've kept. Blood
Say
Eagle's
something.
wild. Yeah, little Viking thing. Someone asked, who asked that? Where is it?
Well, like the first thing I Google, it says Blood Eagle, and then it says torture or Vikings. Those are the two suggestions. That's great.
I mean, I would say both. It's insane.
What are we doing?
It is insane. El Cuatro Loco, what's up, man? Asked, what is the XROI showing on Bankroll? Okay, on under threes, him and Giddy parlayed is plus 600. Oh, okay. Damn. I like your thinking, though. Not going to lie. Parlay those plus money under threes.
Oh, yeah. God, what a sweat that is.
I
Just
know.
need
All right.
no threes.
So actually, that's a bad tools that is minus 9%.
So please, yeah, I would not suggest doing that.
I could do this though. What if we were to just go, all right, let's find a 3-point prop that El Cuatro Loco could throw in there with the parlay.
What about Anthony Davis?
On threes?
Yeah, under a half a three is minus 150 over on DraftKings. You're getting 3% ROI, 62% X win. I think that's a great pairing.
There you go. What's that get us to in a parlay?
I mean, it might not be as lofty, but it's still, again, the Giddy one is so, you're talking plus 160.
Yeah.
It'll get you up there, let's say.
It's got, I can just plug it into the.
You should see the tabs I have open. I've got DraftKings open, a couple stats, and then just Blood Eagle. Real good. Like what? Yeah, so Giddy and Anthony Davis together, you're getting over 3-1, plus 333 on that.
Okay. It's gonna be a sweat.
That's such a bad sweat.
Oh, wait, are they both unders, or do we have over on Davis 3?
Under.
Oh God.
Double under. So no threes can be made.
Oh,
Any three you lose. That's so wild.
All right. We have the 62% win percentage, win percentage on Davis, 41% on Giddy. Both of them positive expected ROI. I might, you know what, El Cuatro Loco, I may dabble in that with you as well on this one. Maybe I'll throw my double prop in there too, Ben.
Yeah, why not? Just go for it. You've been good with those. I'm looking up actually, friend of the show and just good guy. Teddy said thoughts on Bridges over under 20.5 points. Let's see.
Bridges has been on a heater lately too.
He certainly has.
Yeah, so absolute heater.
Hold on.
Oh, there's some good one. Good double stuff out there today. I may actually. Oof. Okay.
So the thing about Bridges that's tricky is that's probably. I assume you're referencing that for like a same game parlay or something, because his actual prop is much higher than that.
That probably is what it is. Yeah.
So it's much trickier like that because there's not really a market to compare it again. You're talking about alt lines and same game parlays, which are a totally different animal. Having said that, I do think that Bridges tonight Love, you mentioned he's been on a tear. The books have him at 25.5. Of course, you're paying for that 5 less points. I would lean over personally, though, if I was making a same game parlay.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, it was 20 taco for PrizePicks. Gotcha.
Oh, is that one of the tacos? Yeah, over 20 and yeah. What are traditional books putting it
25.5.
Yeah.
So, ooh.
Yeah. There's no way Bridges should be at 20.5 right now. His usage is soaring. No. Just all of that. So, I mean, if you're finding that somewhere, especially with no juice, and it's just like it's one of these, it's like a PrizePicks or an NHA type thing, then yeah, absolutely. Anything? What else do you want to hit on here? We got a couple minutes to go. We got all about 200 of our best friends hanging out. Try and make some money today. Of course, too, hit that thumbs up if you haven't done so yet. And dude, check out the free trial, 7 days. If you hate it, just bounce over at OddsShopper Premium. Everything you need to win, market-based betting, got you covered.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Check out
anything else?
A couple of things just from chat. I find chat hilarious. Calvin, he says, I might be a sicko. I like sweats like that. I hear you, man. I bet unders too. That's a dangerous sweat, but you get your money's worth there. And let's see. Tell the people, you teased at the beginning of the show your double-double. What are you going to weasel out of that? Is it Mark Williams? Who is it?
So I actually think the Mark Williams one, we just had that question, right? In chat.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I actually think that's interesting. Now, granted, not a great matchup, slow pace spot against the Knicks, Mitchell Robinson, quality rebounder. But I think Mark Williams, I mean, you're getting it in some spots at like plus 240. I don't hate that at all. If you're looking for a slightly safer one, Marvin Bagley minus 135 is a nice double-double opportunity. Of course, the Pirtle one from last week was plus 210. Bagley's just playing massive minutes right now. That entire team is injured, Ben. Go look at the injury report for the Detroit Pistons right now. Everybody is out. Bogdanovich, Hayes, Jalen Duren, Isaiah Stewart, Diallo, Alec Burks. They're all out. Everybody's out. So I wouldn't be shocked if Bagley plays a ton of minutes today. If you're looking to go real crazy, though, all right, like if you're looking to really, really get things done, James Wiseman on this same team, the line on that for a double-double for James Wiseman, it should be longer odds than Bagley, but at plus 285, I'm going to sprinkle on that a little bit. I think there's a possibility that you see some additional minutes for Wiseman tonight. That was my same thinking on Pirtle. I think he gets to around 30, 31 minutes. He did. I think you could see that with Wiseman, not 30, 31 minutes, but I think a double-double here is in play against the Wizards. And while Mark Williams is very interesting there, no doubt, and he's very productive just on a per-minute basis being out there, that matchup against the Knicks is slow, and Mitchell Robinson is going to prevent all of the rebounds in the world. So that's one I like there. You got one?
So I do like kind of where you're going with the Pistons. First of all, Pistons are 10-point home dogs. They're just awful. I know they got no players, but man, is that ugly. And the Hornets are also sizable dogs. This is not in the same range. This guy is way more likely to double-double, not because I'm saying it, because the books are saying it. Is a guy like Rudy Gobert. He's going to be tasked with slowing down your boy tonight. Still, he's a walking double-double. Stay on the court. Give me 30-plus minutes. I think that's a pretty safe one. It's not the 2.5, 3-1 that you're throwing out there, though.
Okay. I think that's fair. Safer one, I'm going Bagley. The guy's minutes are insane right now. They were down by 30 points the other day, and he didn't come out until there were 4 minutes left. So
there's no one to come in. They got their starters are their bench players at this point.
Right. There's some guys that they can toss in there, but they're not gonna run them for 30 straight minutes. So give me that. Community parlay. So
the Lake Show.
So threw it out there for the chat. Give us who you like the most. It was we had the Lakers getting a point, Sixers +3, Thunder +4, Lakers at 42%. So that goes into our parlay.
I like it. I mean, listen, Memphis has got issues. The Lakers, they got issues too, but they need these games to either get to the playoffs or the play-in or something of relevance. But if they can get LeBron back, they're at home. It's ticked to 1.5 at some points, at some spots as well. So keep an eye on that. You can steal a half point for 5 cents over on BetMGM and on Caesars. So I'm fine with that. The Lake Show is in there. The Norse for me is in there. What is the final piece of the puzzle for the community parlay?
I'm going to go Bagley double minus
Okay.
135.
Bagley double. He's going to justify being the second pick in that draft tonight. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah.
But no, I'll throw Bagley in there. You got the Norse and we got the Lakers. All right. I'm all about that. If you guys have any other questions out there, feel free to hit us. We got we'll stick around for like one more minute, Ben, before we head out of here. If there's any other questions. Otherwise, we can bounce. Zach, Olynyk 10+ points, 10+ rebounds at plus 550. That's interesting. What are the actual odds on him? They're not going to be 10+ rebounds, but
Let's
minus 135. Olynyk,
yeah, well, 6.5.
Yeah. What's his points at? 12.5?
Yeah, 12.5.
It actually doesn't sound crazy at plus 550, just off the top of my head.
No, I mean, listen, he's a guy that can at times really get going. And we just saw this against the second time they played OKC. I watched that game because I'm a Jazz fan. And Olynyk certainly can do it. It's not like he can't grab 10 boards in like 30 minutes or something. So north of 5-1, those are the type of bets, listen, if you're building a lotto ticket and you want to throw that in there, I don't think it's crazy.
He's done it in 3 of his last 7. So I'm not trying to hit a trend like that, but in the sense of, can he, and they've had injuries, right? You have Markkanen out for a game and a lot of other moving parts, but I don't hate plus 550. I don't think is that crazy at all. It's the rebounds that are going to be the toughest to get to for Kelly.
Oh, absolutely. And he's not a lock to hit 10 points. It's not like it's just, okay, he's
right.
Like he could easily just have 8 points tonight.
Yep. Last one, Gilveri, Connaughton, Milwaukee, under 5.5 rebounds. All right, so no Drew Holiday, no Giannis Antetokounmpo. Significant, of course. Under 5.5 rebounds, we have at.
So it's ticked to 6 in some spots.
Yeah. The under is plus money on DraftKings. Plus 110. Yeah, you're right. So there's 6s in some spots. Where is that though?
So the 6s are on more of the kind of like the prize pick and underdog sites.
Okay.
And I think that's a pretty interesting one. At 5.5, if you're going to bet it, I would look to DraftKings at 5.5 because you're talking about plus 110. But most of the books are kind of in line with that right now.
Follow Ben at JazzRazDFS. I'm at Laffy_D. Thanks to Mike for producing. We'll see you back here tomorrow on the Odds Shop. Hit us up with any questions you got on Twitter in the meantime, and we'll see you guys back here shortly. Peace.